Hey, Rachel, do you know that good financial habits can save you a ton of money in your relationship?
What? Really?
Yes, no joke. If you really want to know more about this, stay tuned and we will discuss this topic in today's episode.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Smart Women Finance, a podcast specially designed for women to help you empower yourself actually through financial awareness. Today, with me is Pauline Teo. She's a licensed financial planner, and me, myself, Rocking Rachel. We are the go to girls for Smart Women Finance. And this episode that we are doing, this whole podcast that we're doing is actually meant to help women from all walks of life, whether you are focusing on career building right now, or you are building a family, you're a mom, or even if you've just gotten married. Our episodes, we hope they help you to address your daily financial concerns and help you make smarter decisions in terms of your finances so that you have a more happier and well-balanced life. So, in today's episode, we will be discussing what are actually good habits to have in a relationship, good financial habits to be precise.
We would like to inform you that whatever discussed in this topic and in this podcast is completely general advice or based on our own personal experience and opinions. If you are facing any financial issues, we do recommend that you seek consultation with a licensed financial planner. Thank you.
So I think first and foremost, I would say if you're a single and watching this episode, it's perfect for you. Okay, why is that? Because even before you venture into a relationship, you can start practicing all these great financial habits so that you can get ahead of couples because they've got to work out together in order to get this done, right? You don't need to do that. So you can immediately get started. How's that? That's cool, right?
That's true.
Okay, so I think the first question that we have is what's really causing all this like how do we save a ton of money through just having good financial habits? So what is the problem here is we've noticed a lot of people out there, the habits that we have when we're managing our finances is all over the place.
Correct.
Okay, so when it's all over the place, we kind of like spontaneously go with the flow. When there's more money in the pocket, we spend more. And if it's like, we're financially tight on a budget, then we kind of like go on a shoestring budget whereby, I think I'll skip breakfast because I don't have enough for lunch, kind of a budget. So it's actually very dangerous for many people. So I would say the best ways that we can actually manage money a little bit better, it's by consistently having positively and good habits. Okay, so we're going to give you, I think, 5. Should we give them 5 today? Things that they can actually do, simple things that you can just adopt on a daily basis in order for you to have better spending habits. And that would also mean more money to do other things that you want in life and goals that you want to achieve. How does that sound?
Sounds amazing. But before we go into these habits, I just want to make a general statement like financial habits, right? Like any habit, it just requires a bit of effort, right?
And discipline.
And discipline, yeah. So it's like it's not gonna come to you like, oh, I'm just sitting down here and my finances are supposed to just be automatically organized, or I'm just supposed to find an easy, quick fix to get more savings into my bank account. It doesn't work that way. There's always sacrifices to be made and efforts to be put in. All right.
But they're not rocket science. It's not that hard in order to have good financial habits. It just needs you to be more aware, okay, when you're starting off on having these financial habits in place. Okay, so once you get a hang of it, it's like, do you actually forget to take a bath or brush your teeth in the morning? You don't, right? It's a natural habit. It's on clockwork. This is exactly what we want for you to actually have that kind of empowerment in your own finances. Once habits are in place, it will just take, its natural course. Okay, so let's just start with tip number 1. Okay, so a lot of friends and clients of mine tells me that, hey, these days be it if you're single, living alone, or you're having a family. I think the biggest challenge that anyone has is what to eat, Rachel. Do you have the same problem?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So what is your quick fix anyway in order to solve this?
Oh my gosh, there's no one quick fix, but usually I'm just like, okay, let's just find something that's nearby or something like that. That's me lah. Because unless I don't really order things from GrabFood, because thankfully the place I work in, there are many outlets, food outlets downstairs.
Right.
So I just go down and get the nearest thing. Unless I'm feeling like eating something that's really nice, and if it's too far to get to, then I'll probably use GrabFood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think the very usual things that we do is lunch is depending on if you're working in the office, it's usually depending on the other colleagues. Hey, where to go for lunch today, and then you kind of like go together, right, in order to have your lunch. If not, if you're really lazy or you're working from home or office and you're pressed for time, it's either you order in, right, a pizza or whatever GrabFood can offer you, and you just order food in, right? And you actually spend a lot more when you order or even eat out.
Yeah.
Because these days, even a simple plate of rice or even noodles these days, a bowl of noodles is not even, within $10, you can't even get change anymore, right? So it's going to be very expensive for you. And if you're ordering GrabFood in, it's even more expensive because you have to pay for delivery charges. So
and also generally the food prices on Grab is more
higher.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So precisely. So I think there are tips you can actually do. And one of it is, you could actually prepare creative meals from home and bring it to work to microwave. You can actually do a lot of fun stuff, okay, in terms of creative food. At home, during the last 2 years, the pandemic, where I've actually tried a lot of those one-pot meals. You put everything to the rice cooker or, your slow cooker, and, within like an hour or a half, the food's just ready. And whoever that's hungry, just go help yourself. It's basically no fuss. Kids or no kids, okay, it's really no fuss. So, and these meals, right, I've even worked it out a few times, like, together with me and my husband. Simple cooked meal like this at home doesn't even cost you more than $10 for two person. So these are really great saving tips, okay, for you guys. So this is something you want to try, because if it's very simple for you to just whip it up and cook, be it salad and having some thrown in noodles and stuff, it doesn't take you a very long time to prepare. I think the longest I've actually spent in the kitchen is maybe like less than half an hour. Quick fix, healthy meal in like 10-15 minutes. You can actually really do it. Okay, so something to consider, when you're talking about those healthy, creative cooked meals, okay, that you can proudly bring them to office and have a healthy meal with great savings to your pocket.
Yeah. So like sometimes, like speaking of meal preps, right? So you can even like assess when you do your own budgeting, right? Just study how much do you actually spend, a whole month. So if you find that the spending on food, right, is like really high, okay, why don't you compare it with doing your own grocery shopping and maybe even hiring a maid if you don't have time to cook, right? Would the costing actually be lower? You can find alternatives like if you really don't have time, right?
Precisely.
But the best thing to do would maybe be to limit, if let's say you are very used to after work eating out with your family, you got to find ways to keep it at home. Number one is healthier. And number two is also a great, huge savings for your family.
Precisely. And I think talking about that, very important things that you need to do is to make sure that you review your budgeting or your finances every single month. I know many people out there don't actually monitor like what's actually being spent on a daily basis, a monthly basis, but this is where it's actually a good habit for you to know from the salary that you're getting or the income that you're earning, right, how much actually goes to certain expenses. You'll be surprised how much you spend for certain some things And there's actually always potential for you to cut it down so that you can have more savings. So do not do, reviews of your budget like once a year or never. It doesn't really help your finances. So that's the very important thing.
So try to do it together. Try to do your budgeting. If you have a family, do it together with your spouse. And because there are household expenses that both of y'all share, so
Yes.
it's good to actually do a goal planning for the next month. Like, okay, what are we going to do? So this is where budgeting comes in now. Okay, maybe
Yes.
for entertainment, this is how much we're going to do this month. Or if you're having a trip that month, you know that there are certain expenses going to be slightly higher. So you can already prep yourself. Okay, maybe in this situation, how can I still maintain the savings ratio, but find ways to cut in other areas? So
Precisely.
yeah, never, as much as you can, never cut back on your savings ratio, right?
Yes.
Because although that may seem so tempting, the easiest to cut off, it is going to impact you in the future. Right?
That's right. So the best is actually to play around whatever, floating expenses that you have. That's, usually the easiest for you to review what to cut. All right.
Yeah.
And I would say the third most important thing that you could actually potentially do is every time that you have big goals with the family. For singles, it's potentially maybe talking about, your next holiday plans, you want to go somewhere really nice, or, you've got someone special that you want to celebrate, some kind of anniversaries, or even to think about starting your own retirement fund. For families, maybe it's like, your education funding for your kids, thinking about your retirement, emergency funding for the family. All these things should be reviewed, okay, on a yearly basis. How are you progressing? What are things that you should be considering, when you're putting the budget together? This would actually greatly help you to manage the budget as well and to have sufficient savings for all the important milestones in your life. So I would say these would be things that you really, really want to make sure that you have it right in place from the very start. Right?
And also, in terms of your insurance planning as well, do review it at least once a year or when there is a significant change in your life. Like, for
That's
example,
right.
in a family, maybe you now have an extra member, like a new child coming in. That's a good time to review your insurance planning. And even if you were to, now take care of your parents, right? That is also another stage for you to plan. So,
Yes.
but if there's no changes, you can always review it on a yearly basis, like year on year, and always ensure that both spouses know where the insurance policies are kept. So, like some things, like nowadays, insurance policies comes in soft copy, so you can actually open a Google Drive, keep all your insurance policies together. Because as you should know, there have been a client of mine where the moment the disease is passed away, right? They find it very hard to locate their policies. They don't actually know, what policies do they have, which company do they have it with. So sometimes they don't know.
Precisely.
Yeah, so it's like a real big loss to the family if your insurance policy is not known. So it's apart from all, comparing, looking at all your financial situations, right? Your insurance policies should be known to your next of kin, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think the other tip I would say, adding on to that, is never keep your policies right in, the bank's safe deposit box or something like that. It's not going to do you any good to have it, in lock and key. So it should be somewhere, like within the library cupboards, your policies are nicely kept in one pile for the entire family. That would be the most ideal. Or like what Rachel just shared, right? Having a Google Drive where all the family's policies are easily available just in case of any emergencies. You can always go back to those folders online in the cloud just to check them.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's really good to do that.
Precisely. Okay. So the next point that we would like to also bring is debts. Try and avoid unnecessary debts. Okay. Because I've also noticed that a lot of people would accumulate debts over a period of time, but not have proper planning for them. Like, things like buying a car or having, investment properties. You want to make sure that all these are properly planned, okay? So that, you don't have surprises, in place, to kind of like hold you back and hold you down, okay, during those times. So you want to try to make sure that you plan all these very, very well so that you're not stressed or, worried about, having to service those debts.
Correct. And also, like for the young people, we like to get into a lot of installments because we have the instant habit. We want something instant. So we tend to, fall for all these instant installment packages. Like recently, I even saw gold bracelets, so you can now buy in installment. So I mean, these are actually a lot of us actually get trapped into this, thinking that hey, it's easy for me to own something now, but it does affect your reports, your financial reports, especially later on when you want to take on other financial commitments. It actually does affect. So instead of getting yourself into too many installment packages, pick which ones are really necessary if you really need to, or if you can, the best would be not to get into any at all.
Yeah, right. And I think the other thing, other than those personal loans and installment plans, right, your credit cards.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are the other devil friends that you have in your wallet sometimes, that allows you to go crazy spending, especially during times whereby we have every month sales. It's no longer end-year sales or mid-year sales. It's like every other month is actually a good month to shop. It only pays for women like us to be financially wise on what we need and what is nice to have so that we don't actually go about overspending.
Right.
Okay, so be very mindful as well, even though you may not have any application of loans, but credit card is the other thing that's very easy for you to fall into that trap. And hell, it's very hard to get out. Okay.
Yes. And the final habit that we have for you all is to actually have healthy activities. And these activities don't have to cost you money. You don't actually have to sign up for a gym membership. You can actually go to a park. There are so many parks. If you use them properly, maybe the government would, open more parks for us to go to. So, so there are many parks around your area, I'm sure. So pick a day, maybe during the weekends to go for some walks together with your friends, or even to play badminton or something that is not too costly, but gives you that healthy benefits. So Pauline, it's a weird thing, right? We are talking about financial habits, something we are telling them about healthy activities. What's the relation?
I would tell you there is a great relation to it, because if you are really in good health, you actually save more on insurance premiums as well.
Correct.
So it does pay to be healthy, but at the end of the day, think about this. Who doesn't want to be healthy? Come on, guys. You definitely want to be healthy, right? So that, you can live better, enjoy life the way it's supposed to be. And I know for women, if you're too lazy to go out, in the comfort of your home, you've got YouTube, and you can actually tune into many great channels whereby you can do yoga, or Pilates, or whatever you choose from the comfort of your home. So I would say that exercising doesn't have to be very expensive. It doesn't have to be a chore. It can be rather fun too. If not, just grab another friend, like for example, your bestie, and just Zoom together and, enjoy a dance together, do Zumba together, do whatever it is that, you can just tune in from the company.
Because when you just not only insurance premiums do you save on, but you also save on unexpected expenses in a month. So like, you have your medical, if you notice yourself getting sick too many times with normal flu and all, then maybe it's time for you to rectify that. So you can save, your bills or your visits to the hospital or the clinics, right?
Yeah. Or even having to visit the pharmacy too often in order to replenish medications.
Correct.
Those are hidden costs, actually. So.
Yeah, things that you can avoid if you do the proper work. So, of course, these healthy activities will take some time to kick into effect, but it's not. The earlier you start, the earlier you see the results.
Yes, precisely. So it does pay to be healthy, and live a very, very quality life each and every day. So I think we should actually wrap it up right now. So the 5 tips that we have given you, just to wrap it up. Number 1, have healthy and creative meals, from the comfort of your home. It could be a very simple one-pot meal, takes you no more than 30 minutes to get ready, for a meal. And the second thing would be, make sure you review your budgets every month, so that you know what you're over or underspending on, and whether you've got opportunity to save more money, for whatever goals that you want. The third one is actually to make sure you review the goals and to make sure that you're still on track with whatever goals that you have in mind and started off with. And by the end of the year, you should see great improvements in terms of where you want to go and be able to land on some of those goals. Okay. The fourth, I would say, no unnecessary debts. So just be very mindful. If you have done your budgeting very well, you shouldn't be falling into the unnecessary debts category. So just be mindful. The little evil devils that you may be very tempted will be installment plans as well as credit cards that may actually hit you. Last but not least, live a healthy life. So, have really good activities that you can keep yourself busy, eat right, eat healthy, and you should be well and fine in terms of managing your budgets better. Right?
Any questions for us? Do join our Facebook community group on Facebook. It's called Smart Women Finance.
Yeah.
And you can always hashtag your questions at Ask SWF, as you can see on our banners if you're on YouTube. So go into our group, ask us any questions you like, and we'll try our best to give you the best that we can.
Yeah. So don't forget, ladies, Rome wasn't built in a day, but step by step, bit by bit, we can get there. Okay. So stay tuned till the next episode. Logging off right now.
Exercising those habits.
Yeah.